Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to take your advertising to the next level and make the changes in your ads and sales funnel that will continue to grow your sales. Basically, I'll teach you how to optimize your ads and sales funnels. It will help if your first round of ads is very successful, or if it faltered a bit and you need to improve your general performance. So the information in this video is intended to be applied after you have launched an initial ad campaign. It's about making those improvements rather than finding a niche audience, finding a product, and setting up the first couple of test ads. This is about creating an advanced sales campaign. So here's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to show you how to optimize your ad campaigns, how to scale up when you have some success, how to optimize your sales funnels, and how to optimize your sales page navigation for best conversions. So let's get started. Hopefully, you have already accomplished a lot with your online marketing. Besides defining your audience, finding a product, and running your first ads, you should carefully look at the data coming back from the first ads you ran. Hopefully, you checked the data reporting already, like I showed you. This would include views, click-through, abandoned carts, completed purchases, etc. You need to see which fixes have to be made, how we can make that fix, and with advertisement, there's a lot of things that you can do, especially if it's just your round number one, the first ad. You should also be able to see demographic data about gender, age, etc. You should have information about interest, shares, and other Facebook-related information. You have also been given information about how to analyze this information, okay? You really are stepping up to become a professional Facebook marketer. So it's only after you have completed the analysis of the data that you want to move on to this step. So remember, first that one. So generally, you are going to go in one of two directions, okay? Pay close attention. If your sales have taken off really well, you had success on the first round, then you can start really thinking about heavily increasing your momentum, and you're scaling by posting more ads and breaking down even heavily, knowing that you're going to find quality winners and really be able to make a lot of money from that group, okay, from that specific group. If you hadn't had success in round one, you're not making sales, then you need to look at the product you're offering and make, adjustments. Like you have to look at the ad, the copy that you're using, or the targeting, and just see the adjustments that you can make. So that's where the key is, okay? Split testing. You have to split testing. You should split testing from the very beginning. But if you are not, and your sales aren't as strong as you think they should be, you need to start split testing immediately, all right? Again, if you are having trouble having any sales, you need to start split testing right away. It's very important. It shouldn't be more than 5 or 6 days into the campaign before you have enough information to decide how to make those improvements. Use the same information as mentioned above to decide what changes are most likely to turn your campaign around. The demographic information is telling you obviously something. So one of the things would be your initial interest to target. Ask yourself, what is the initial group of people to target every time, because that will be your best buyers. So if you're not having success with broad interests, for example, start using those more dialed in, narrowed down buyer interests. Use products and brands that are specific to your niche, magazines, associations, clubs, BC list celebrities. Narrow your target audience down to these people. All those different categories of interests to target are buyer interests. They are audiences of people who buy products in that niche. So that's something you want to start making and adjust in your ads. If your targeting is starting with a very broad age groups, let's say you can start breaking them down into separate age groups. For example, let's say I create two different age groups for a wife husband shirt. Okay, let's say I'm doing a campaign, t-shirt campaign. One was one would be like 18-24, and the other one 35-44. Age groups are going to be different because obviously react differently to they react different to certain products, niches, and shirts, or whatever it is that you are selling. So age groups have a different effect on the ads. If you didn't have success, you might want to find the right age group to target and see who reacts the best. Check out the metrics that produce the best ROI. Take a closer look at your ad copy. Can you make changes that will be more appealing to the people that have shown an interest in your product? You should ask this. So start split testing the actual ad copy, okay, that you are showing. For example, what is the picture you're using? What is the headline that you are using? The headline, you know, it's very important. What is the text? Okay, what is the text that you're using to tell them to go buy the product that you own? Take a closer look at the graphics that you're using. There are several things that you can consider here. Okay, first, the ad must immediately grab the viewer attention. The graphics, for example, need to do this without requiring the audio to come on. Okay, so also remember that sex sells to both women and men. So if you can get some sex appeal going, you might be able to get viewers to click through to your product description. Of course, this has to be done smartly, okay, and not just putting some random attractive image right there, okay, if you know what I mean. But then they might make a purchase, you know, after that. Finally, if you already have an established brand, make sure your ad is both building on your brand and exploiting your already established brand, okay. These are things that you really want to determine first in round one, the first time, you know, you start your campaign, you're running your campaign. Get that testing down when you have your base foundational ad in targeting that you can use for every product you can launch in that direction, and then start your brand from there, okay. Secondly, when is the, you know, the right time to scale up when you have success? So I truly hope that you had success with your first round in whatever niche product you are focusing on, okay. If you did, you really want to do the same split testing action again, but it's actually not so much to find that ideal winner, you know, that's going to just be your base. It's more about reaching more people with a product that is selling hot and really make a lot of sales. And that's if you are having big success at round one, remember already. So it's time, now it's time to create as many ads as possible just to get the reach out there and expand. You want to think about scaling up, remember, in several different areas. Primarily the size of your target audience, okay? The number of ads that you're running, the amount of money you're spending on your advertising, you know, and the number of products that you are offering. Take a look at how you can scale up your target audience, all right? You should have started out with a small but highly targeted audience. That means you should have several areas where you can now increase your visibility. Depending on your product, you might be able to expand from only women to include men. Age is another natural place, okay, to look to expand. When it comes to age, using different ads is often the key. For instance, if in the 24 to 34 age bracket, you might use some younger vocabulary or even some of the texting shorthand that is popular, okay. However, I wouldn't target the older people with this. Remember, the master list, the big list that I created for you of potential audiences that I explained to you before, well, now it's the time to take another look at that. If you have a successful product, you can very possibly expand to people with related interests. All you need to do is to give careful thought. You have to thinking carefully to how you word the advertising so that appeals specifically to their interests. If you have truly hit on a niche that wants to buy products, you need to consider expanding your product line. Okay? So hopefully you're building an email list too, especially of those that made a purchase. That is a very lucrative market, by the way, for an expanded product list. Your cost for marketing plummets because all you need to pay is the small or a free trial period cost of signing up for an autoresponder. Okay, so those are the different adjustments that you can make with your ad campaigns. It's actually very simple stuff. It's all about split testing if you didn't have too much success, and all about expanding, okay, scaling and reaching more people if you didn't have that expected success. Okay, always look carefully at your data so that you're always improving your ROI and always having more people. Sometimes you're just going to scale up, and other times you want to scale down. At other times it's about making a few changes, like I explained. Other times it will be a combination of more than one factor. Just study the data because it will show you how to improve your profit. So the next, let's look at the adjustments that you can make to your sales funnel. Okay, I'm going to show you about the different adjustments you can make to your funnel to improve the system, make more sales, and how you can get all the traffic and marketing system in place. Okay, so this about your overall marketing plan rather than only being about the advertisements. So your marketing plan is about everything that you do to attract buyers to your products. All right, it includes everything from the product packaging to where you place the product for sale. So to the value added content you provide prospects to demonstrate that you are a niche expert. So people call this merchandising. Ultimately, what it involves is everything that goes on in your sales funnel. After deciding on a niche, finding a product to sell, and even getting started with advertising, there are still important changes in the sales funnel that you can make that will dramatically improve your sales and profits. By far, you have started uploading a few products. You have your basic theme set up. You started sending traffic. You got the data. You know about the adjustments that you can make to on your ads to improve or scale up. Now I'll talk to you about the adjustments to make on all the other marketing pieces so that you can continue to improve those numbers across the board. So one of the first places you want to review is, of course, your store layout. All right, this is called product placement. Of course, your store needs to have a fully professional appearance. I mentioned this already. One important thing your store needs to do is to focus on building your brand, which is essential, not someone else. Just build yours. One mistake that I've seen others make is letting their brand be overridden by someone else who's already established. Okay, this can happen if you are doing something like selling T-shirts that you create through Teespring. Remember that I talked to you about leaving the T-shirt platforms and building your own store, right? So their name can become too dominant on your website, or if you're selling through Shopify, for example. It's perfectly fine to use these services, but just be fully aware that they are working hard to push their own brand out there as much as possible. So you need to make your brand stand out as much as possible and eliminate or at least downplay the brand of others. So when I was building, for example, my super sexy hair store, obviously no one has ever heard of it, so I had to build the authority. You might want to do a few edits to the front look of your store. For example, use a graphic to make it look prettier and more appealing to the crowd, more attractive. I took the time to review and edit it several times. I was constantly looking for better looking pictures that featured sexy hair, like the one that I have uploaded on my fan page. So I also added more pictures than I originally started with, because it was clear that super sexy hair is about the visual appeal. As my sales site grew, I also added product collections. Okay, so you might want to add those too because it gave depth to my store that made it appear more professional as well as emphasize my expertise on the subject. I also added future products collection that attracted a lot of visits and visitors, of course. Uh, yes, let's say that, of course, it took some time, but I also worked at adding value added content, okay? Which is, one was, for example, a newsletter opt-in box that required a visitor or a prospect to submit an email address to get it, okay, to receive it. So from that, I've been building a healthy email marketing list. Links to my Facebook page are there, along with multiple requests to like me on their Facebook page and share my page with others. So remember, the social media buttons are important too. Other social media that my marketing is active on include Twitter, Pinterest, and videos on YouTube. You want to definitely edit the way your links are set up in your sales pages. And lastly, I want to talk to you about optimizing your sales page navigation that I believe it's very important. So first off, you have to begin at the top. I don't use the term catalog. Instead, I have a tab called products. I also have a blog tab, which is where I write the value added content, and closely consider your niche audience and add tabs that will keep them engaged. You want obviously to create content related to your niche. For example, in my case, hair loss tips, list of products for sexy and healthy hair, etc. Include links to specific products when you write your articles, okay? So because sometimes it will be to one specific product that you are selling, and other times to a collection of products. It depends on the subject of your articles. And of course, it builds authority, because if you post regularly, you will slowly build authority because you will be seen as the guy who provides quality content, which is very important. Okay, so make sure also you have reliable contact information. If you're working multiple niches, you probably need multiple email accounts. Almost every website out there provides email accounts specific to each website. Sometimes, like, something like your name at sexyhair.com, that's much more professional than using a generic email account like your name at yahoo.com or Gmail. Okay. Then your site navigation should include an About Us page. This is very important because putting this at the top of the page is a good way to build your brand. However, sometimes the top of your page becomes cluttered, and it makes more sense to place it at the bottom of the page. In the About Us page, tell them about your store and give them the opportunity to contact you on the Contact Us page. So on each product sales page, you definitely want to look at how the product is placed. The position is very important, where the add to cart button is, okay? The color, different sizes of text, all the different things that you can test out. Lay out your product well with an attractive headline. Test out the color of the add to cart button. Write positive text that explains your products, okay? You can easily swipe and tweak text directly from the listings on eBay and Amazon if you want. Just like I said, swipe it. So some products might not be laid out greatly, so just adjust their structure. Another things that you might want to do is, along with every product page, having a link to your shopping cart, include links to related products. Add the related products to the main one. This is very, very important. It can really increase your profits exponentially. Some of these will be upsells, others will be accessories like cross sells, and others will just be alternative products. The objective is to encourage your buyer to buy more products in each order. Okay, you can add, I'm pretty sure you have done that a lot of times. So you can add different add to cart systems on the sales page, and you can test out. You can test the language you are using, and also always think about building long-term assets, like for example adding the social media platforms. because it's very important. One feature that I take full advantage of on Shopify is the buyers list, which is gold. Build your list. This is an email. This is an email list of people that have made a purchase from you. It's where the money is at. It's no secret. The list is just golden because if you are an online marketer, it's always easier to sell to someone that you have already gained the trust of, and of course you have also to build the trust. So I often offer, for example, discounts to people on this list, and on my list, or I offer them the opportunity to purchase a new product before it's made available to the general public. Treat these people as a special customer that they are. It's way easier to sell more products to someone who already bought something from you than to find someone brand new to pull out their credit card and build that initial trust. So what you want to do is really start thinking about the buyers list in effect. And there's another Shopify app that will come in handy for this, which I will disclose with you in one of my next videos. I'll set it up. So I will show you how to set it up. So when someone purchases, you have an email autoresponder and email list, so that you can continue to contact them with good products they will like. And lastly, make sure one last consideration you might want to include is adding trustworthy credibility badges to your website that will help you build authority fast. This include verified by PayPal, a BBB badge, and as seen on. Those are the sales funnel, sales page, and store adjustments that you need to consider on a regular basis, and especially when you're first getting started or launching a new Shopify store. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you soon in the next video.